Nikola Jokic makes history by becoming the first player to record 25-plus points, 20-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists in consecutive games since Charles Barkley in 1988, as the Nuggets had an amazing game from Jokic and won by 3 points in a 103-100 win against the PG-13-less Clippers. Welcome to the NBA Game Recap. Thanks for stopping by. I'm your host, Evan, and if you are new to this channel, we do this every single day. So if you want to stay in touch with all the NBA games and news, like and subscribe. So we're going to be breaking down the amazing performance by Jokic and the Nuggets, the comeback the comebacks from Lavine and Butler, and the beatdown the Cavs had on the Raptors last night. So without further ado, let's get into the games. So to start it out, like I mentioned before, we have the Nuggets versus the Clippers. Nikola Jokic, like I mentioned before, had an amazing day. He had 26 points, 22 rebounds, and 8 assists for himself as he went off, getting rebounds like a machine, getting his teammates involved, and getting inside. Open three by
Jokic eyes the three, takes the three, and makes the
and
three.
Terrence Mann, he turned into a man as he gets a Superman dunk over Jokic. Big play to Kennard in the corner, getting the big three, making over Will Barton, making it a closer game. 8
We have seen
points
crazy
for
things
himself,
happen.
18
I,
from
for
Bledsoe,
one,
17
am very much
from
rooting for
plus
craziness
11
here. Kennard trying
as
to create space,
Terrence
the
Mann
rim.
puts up the last shot for the win and can't get it. As the Nuggets can get the 103-100 win as
Guard the
Jokic
line.
can celebrate his
Davon Reed is out
night.
on
He
Boston.
had 16
They're going to go
points.
one-on-one. Boston winding it down.
He had 16,
Boston in
16
trouble.
loss record,
Boston throws it up.
17-16
No
for the
good.
Clippers.
Jokic rebounds.
12 points from Markieff Morris, 12 from Austin Rivers, 17 from Will Barton, and 15 from Deano Reed off the bench. The Nuggets actually got help today, sort of. Nikola Jokic had to put on a historic night to get this. He did have 4 turnovers, though. They really did not have many turnovers. It's surprising to see 14. They both had 14 Clippers and Nuggets, as the Nuggets could power through this one. Now we go to our next game. In the Eastern Conference, we have the Heat versus the Magic. Jimmy Butler back in this one, suiting up for the Miami Heat as he is looking to have
injury returns today, averaging almost 23.
Outscored the Orlando Magic
The athleticism of Caleb
30-21
excellent
from
team
Wendell Carter
defense,
Jr.
and
But
a
it wasn't
strong
enough,
effort.
as the Heat had a really well-rounded, chemistrized game, as they had Trevin with 16 points, 15 rebounds, 13 from Strauss, 13 from Vincent, and 17 from Kenyon Martin. Off the bench for Martin, as they get the 93-83 win, as the Heat move up to 21-13, as the Magic go down 7 and 27. The Heat are actually looking like a contender again. Taking out 2020, as the Heat are sitting in 4th place, 1 game behind the Milwaukee Bucks. A half game behind the Bucks, a full game behind the Bulls, and it's a tight race for the last spot, as they are only 3.5 games
getting his
behind
award for being the Rookie of the Month in the West Conference
as
for
these top
October,
spots
November.
are where it's
3
at.
minutes
As
in.
you go to Cleveland right after that, there's
Pelicans
3 games behind.
with Hernan Gomez going
It's
inside,
not
but he got
a
met at the top at the summit.
But
Robinson,
these
Earl, and
top
Shea
5
in the
teams are
vicinity.
going to be
Just good activity.
I don't think the Cavs can do it, but the teams under are really far
busts through
behind.
the
and I can
primary
see some big
defender
time
and finds nothing but open space in the
work.
paint.
Now let's go to the OKC Thunder and the Pelicans. To start it out, Josh Giddey gets the Western Conference Rookie of the Month for games in October and November. As Giddey was good. The times he was away, they lost by big scores. but he's
So the
here
Pelicans
today, and
have been as close
he
as
didn't have
two
a bad game for himself. 10 rebounds, 10
since
assists,
the big
no
Thunder lead
points.
as Shea
But
plays
he got a
second.
double-double
Goes up
on
for the
rebounds and
jam.
assists, which you don't
Well, he had a
see
wide
often.
open lane. Might not see
He
more
helped
open
out.
space for
Shea
Shea on the drop ball
Alexander
here.
had 31 points,
Double
4
team is coming up
rebounds,
for
5
Shea, but he
assists,
passes
only 1
away.
turnover for himself too. Shea has really emerged as one of the top players in the league this year, as he has really showed out
And that is
as
win number 12 on the year for the Thunder. Snapping
Shea
the
really
Pelicans'
helped out
four-game
today.
winning streak.
31 points, obviously, but you can't count out Aaron Wiggins. 24 points for himself, had an amazing day. He also had 6 rebounds and an assist. He was in the forward position, as Luke Dort had 4 steals for himself today, 13 points as well, and an all-around well-rounded game, as Shea had 3 blocks as well, Josh Giddey with 1. All-around good game, 117 to 112 win for the Thunder. As the Thunder are actually emerging as a team, they're working together really well, finding some chemistry there, and I don't see them doing anything in the near future. But you can watch out for them, as they are going to be there in a few years. Obviously with Shea Alexander leading the way, but you cannot count out Josh Giddey, who's really going to have a 13th in the West right now. But they are tied for 12th, and they are only two games behind for 10th and 3 games behind for 7th, because the Lakers are in 7th. As they can actually turn into something this year. I don't see them being a contender, but they can be up there in the league next year.
Two very good players
As
for them. They're going to get a lot of
they
touches
looked
here
really
tonight.
good in this one, as the Pelicans didn't. Josh Hart had 29, and he got almost no help. 22 from Gary Temple. And that was about it. 15s across the board, and then they got no help. Brandon Ingram in 9 minutes didn't play well at all. So, yeah. Now let's go to staying in the Eastern Conference with the Bulls and Pacers. To start it out, Zach Lavine is back. He has not played for the last 12 games for the Bulls, as he had an amazing game. 32 points. Gets the, Superman dunk there, Michael Jordan style for the Bulls, as Lavine, on his game back, showed out. Like I mentioned, 32 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and a block, as well as Nikola Vucevic. The big 3 is back, Vucevic, DeRozan, and Lavine, as Vucevic had 16 points and 15 rebounds, only 3 turnovers for Lavine. 24 from DeRozan, as he continued his MVP-like campaign, as he is sitting pretty high in this race, as big dunk by Jamal Green, as he had 13 for himself today. Big time play, momentum booster, as big dunk by Kobe White there, as he had 8 points on himself. Kobe really helps out. He's just in there. But Lavine really helps out this team. He centers it around. And keep in mind, they still didn't have Caruso. They still didn't have Lonzo Ball. And this team can be really, really good with guys without team rebounds for himself, as the Philadelphia 76ers led in almost everything, including turnovers, as they did shoot 38% from 3, as the
His 68 career 30,
as the 76ers won in every single quarter except the first, as they outscored the Wizards 38-24 in the second and 29-17 in the third, as Joel can sit there as Harrell gets put out of the game, which is kind of funny because he's gone, Joel is rolling, and the 76ers are rolling, as they win 117-96. The Sixers move to 17-16, as the Wizards stay at 17-16. The Wizards looked really good at the start of the year. They've dropped a lot to 7, as the Philadelphia Sixers are now 6th. The Sixers are still 6 games behind for first. They're still a bit of time away from their next competitor in the Cleveland Cavaliers. And now let's talk about the Cavs right now. It was Cavs versus Raptors last night in a big matchup where it looked like the Raptors did not have anyone. They had no starters that were starting before, as they had a whole new starting cast. Nick Nurse was literally coaching a completely different team, as they had only 4 guys who were regulars on the team. A ton of guys. It looked like the G League team. I think it's the Raptors 905. That's the G League team. They looked really bad. You see that pass there. They look uncoordinated. They're not as good as, obviously, the regular Raptors. Yuta Watanabe gets stripped there. And they can go for the alley-oop dunk. If you were at the game for the Cavs, this was like a amazing game. If you're a Raptors fan, like me, it's awful. DeAndre Wade had 17, Larry Marketing had 20, Kevin Love had 29 rebounds as well, 22 from Garland, 16 from Rubio, 17 from Valentine off the bench. And that was it. Yuta Watanabe had his career high, 26 points, 13 rebounds, but also had 5 turnovers. Chris Boucher, 21.5 rebounds, but also had 5 turnovers. As a team, the Raptors had 21 turnovers. Awful game altogether. It was just the Raptors 905 versus the Cavaliers, as the Cavs only had 12 turnovers compared to the 21 big one, as the Cavs shot much better from the free throw line. How do you shoot 68% from free throw there? 25% from 3. Like, they lost in every category. The Raptors were awful. There's no words to really describe it. I think it's obviously very made by COVID right now. Obviously, if it's gone, the Raptors are actually not as bad as their G League kind of team. But until they come back, we don't know. We might be seeing the G League Raptors team from the next few games. All right, that does it for our NBA recap today. How do you feel about this new look in the NBA, as they sort of adopted the G League type of starters as COVID hits a high in the league? And drop it down in the comments, your ideas. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye.